Okay. So when did I have some fun recently? So I actually love this time of year for Christmas. I love making things, and I actually have a boat in my front garden. And I sat there and I had this idea in my head. How can I make this boat Christmassy? What can I do? How can I get creative? I'm a big fan of the Grinch, so I had a mannequin and I thought, do you know what? I am going to dress the mannequin up and I'm going to put him in the boat and I'm going to make it look like he's stolen all of our Christmas tree, all of our presents, like he does in the film where he goes down with the sleigh. And I wanted to recreate this in my boat. I
That's
had the
brilliant.
idea. Thank you.
That's
Like when you
brilliant.
get an idea though, Victoria, and you're like, is this going to actually work?
I'm sure it does, because I know that your boat's right on the front of your house as you're driving past. So that's a brilliant
Yes,
idea.
yes.
So thank you for that. So,
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a slightly different Hope on Prescription live, not on Valley Park Radio, but today we are on Zoom with the wonderful Victoria. We did have a session planned for today on Valley Park Radio, but unfortunately, our co host Dave has been poorly this time of year. It's the season, guys. We all get poorly. I'm so sorry to hear you're not well, Dave, and I hope you feel better soon. But Victoria saved the day and she was like, it's okay. We can do something. We can put something together because we wanted to reach out and give an amazing opportunity to our listeners still, because we have an exciting chance to win 4 free tickets to watch Sleeping Beauty at the Orchard West Theatre here in Dartford. Stay tuned because we're going to tell you more about it.
that's so exciting. My children are teenagers now, so they're out of that baby wonderment phase of pantos, but we've always gone to pantos, and particularly love the Orchard, so that's a really good venue. So I hope everybody will join in the opportunity to win these tickets, because it's amazing. Free
Yes.
tickets.
I know exactly that. And I'm so, so grateful to the Orchard West Theatre for actually donating these tickets for Hope on Prescription. What a wonderful gift at this time of year. So, this week's episode, we are going to be wrapping it all up for Christmas, which we love to do, lots of presents, but also remembering the important things in life, the small things, the little things that you achieve, the little things that you create, the little moments that you have with your family. These are what's really, really important and brings that love and Christmas joy and Christmas spirit. I have had a crazy year here on Hope on Prescription. It has been one networking meeting after one other networking meeting, after another, after a phone call, after an email. But you know what? I'm so, so excited and so happy because all of this hard work has created such a strong network here within my community. I'm connecting with the local schools, I'm connecting with the local councillors, I'm connecting with the amazing Victoria, which, by the way, I haven't even introduced you yet. Victoria, say hey.
I forget about myself. I'm so busy listening to what's happening in the world of Hope on Prescription and the radio show. I think you've done a lot of things this year. How did it all start for you, Gemma? How did getting onto your how did Hope on Prescription arrive? And then from that, how did you come into the radio?
Yes, yes. So Hope on Prescription was an idea that I had in my mind about 5 years ago. And through the processes, I've just been planning and creating and thinking, how can I make this idea into reality? I then obviously got a little bit carried away with life because it happens. I've got 3 kids. I was raising them and decided to put this project on the back burner for a moment. But then it was itching inside me, Victoria. It was almost like, no, you can't leave me here. Let me out. So I was like, right, okay, this project has to happen. We need to find a way to make it happen. So I started looking into what I could do to find funding, support, people to come together to see how I could make this happen. And I cannot believe, and I'm so, so grateful for all the support that everybody that I've spoken to about this project has given me. Everyone's just as excited about it as I am, which is just so heartwarming and lovely. So after connecting with lots of different people, I got some yeses, I got some no's because it happens, guys. We get the yeses, we get the no's, but the main thing is we don't give up on something that we're passionate about. And
Mm.
I didn't. I kept pushing. I contacted Valley Park Radio and I said, hey, would you mind if I came on your show? And I was only planning on going on the show maybe one time and just talking about Hope on Prescription. But it turns out they loved what I was doing so much that we ended up doing a fortnightly slot where I would come on each week and I would share little nuggets about lifestyle, about healthy living, about healthy minds, about having fun, exploring poems and beautiful, uplifting music. It turned out to be a real treat that has actually happened across this entire year from June up until now. And I'm really excited because we will be back next year and we're going to be starting on Friday, the 6th of February. All details will be over on www.hopeonprescription.co.uk. But they are great. And Victoria, you've been one of our guests. How did you find it?
Well, like you, I contacted the radio station to see if there was a slot I could promote my book. Similar to Hope on Prescription, it's about rejuvenating your life. And so I came along and I was bemused by the whole concept. I thought it was really a lot of fun and a lot of importance in helping people with their mental health, etc. And you were captivating, and it was such a wonderful experience. We were chatting and chatting and chatting afterwards, and I just thought, oh, well, if there's any way I can help, that would be great. I'd just like to be involved. And so here we are today.
Yeah.
things go, things often take a U-turn or a curve, don't they? And we have to adapt and roll with it. And so we're on this format today, not on the radio. But hey, you know, it's still fun, still learning curve, no need to stress, nothing like that.
I remember finding out yesterday and being like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But it's these things that happen that actually, yes, they throw a curveball, but they help us learn. Like you say, like sometimes we think, why has this happened? And we can't see why these things happen when we're in the moment. But if you just take a step back and take a few deep breaths and just ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? What can I take from this situation that can help me progress maybe next time? Or maybe it will actually give me the confidence that when something does happen like this, I don't go into, oh my God mode. And instead I'm like, actually, do you know what? You've done this before. You can do it again. And it's like building up those little bricks of confidence within yourself. And then looking for the evidence to go, no, you got this. We can still do this. We can still bring Christmas cheer and we can still offer this incredible competition to you guys. So if you're just listening now, you can win 4 free tickets to watch Sleeping Beauty at the Orchard West Theatre here in Dartford. The question, now this is what we didn't share with you at the beginning, but here is the question now. The question to win these 4 free tickets is as follows. What did Sleeping Beauty prick her finger on that put her to sleep for 100 years? Now, if you know the answer to this question, pop us an email over on info@gem, Gem, instone.co.uk. All information will be left in the description anyway. Pop us the answer and all your names will be put into a hat and drawn out of the hat and announced on Christmas Day. It's exciting. Have you seen Sleeping Beauty, Victoria?
I haven't seen that one, no. And it was one of my favourites when I was a child. So no, I haven't seen Sleeping Beauty. I've seen many others, Jack and the Beanstalk several times.
Yeah. If you know the answer, give us a message.
I'd have to think about it. But no, I won't enter. I'll let somebody else win it. And what date is that to go onto the theatre?
Yes, so it's going to be Saturday the 4th of January. So 4 of you can head on down and enjoy the show. It's incredible. Yeah. I will, once the names have been drawn out of the hat and we know who the winner is, I will be getting in contact. So please do make sure when you drop me an email, you either leave me your mobile number or your email address so that I can get back to you and send on the tickets.
Yeah. So we will recap this further on. This is fantastic opportunity and a great way to get together again after Christmas and to continue the fun. So the importance of fun intrigues me because I meet a lot of people without a sense of humour, and
Yeah.
people who worry, who have anxiety. Now, anxiety is different from just general daily worry and concerns, but it is our personal disposition that can make us worry about things that aren't important. I'm not talking about clinical anxiety here, I'm just talking about day-to-day issues. And this is a very stressful time at Christmas, making sure that everybody gets everything they need and want, and food and shopping. And there's a lot of mental work that goes on, mental and emotional work that goes on in creating this Christmas, which acts also smoothly for everybody else, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And one thing I do like about Christmas time, though, is having the music in the shops. And there's a quite jolly and uplifting. There's lots of bells and some old favourites. It's very hard, difficult not to toe tap and sing along when you're shopping. But
Oh,
this.
I am. I'm down the road. I step into
Yeah,
Christmas.
well, if I've got a trolley, I'll have a little slide. But what I'm thinking is, it's still, it can raise your spirits, but you still need to take that and have a little joke with the person on the till, or try and remember that joie de vivre and the sense of wonderment. It's hard work while you're presenting it and preparing it, but it's still magical time. But that finding that humor inside us is part of our resilience.
Yeah.
Nurses and doctors and paramedics, public services, emergency people, they tend to have quite a dark humour, and we in Britain like dark humour. And so in times of stress, try and see the funny side. That's what I always say.
Yes,
What about
yes.
you? What do you do, Gemma? Do you have some techniques that you use to keep yourself in a state of fun, or see the humour in things?
Yeah, so I like to flip things a lot, and I like to try and see how I can maybe creatively get myself out of it. And the reason I say that is because for me, creativity, no matter what form, whether it's just turning on a song and dancing it out, or turning on a song and singing at the top of my lungs, my neighbors must not like me. But it's just finding that release, that feel good release, and exploring things that you can do. Another one that is massive for me is I have a best friend, and she is amazing at turning any situation from absolute chaos to absolutely hilarious scenario. And I'm so lucky and blessed to have her, because whenever I'm in that situation, I will give her a call, and I guaranteed within 30 seconds, she has totally changed how I feel about the situation. But
Yeah.
it's just like opening up your mind to see it from a different perspective. And I know that's hard, because whenever we're in those situations, it is difficult. It is
Mm.
a challenge to go.
One of the things I think, though, where you're speaking there is, Gemma, it's very important to have friends who are positive around you, because quite often like attracts like, and people who are miserable will talk to other people who are miserable, or people who are very serious and logical and very correct will tend to seek other people that will validate that point of view. Whereas really we need a variety of friends, and we need that silly joker. And
Yeah.
even if they get on your nerves, sometimes, well, there is nobody who doesn't suffer in this world. So somebody who's joking around can actually have a lot of deep wisdom. And so
Yeah.
you have to just have a longer chat, a longer talk, pose the questions, tell them how you're feeling. And somebody who's more positive than you will be able to lift you and turn you around. And often in couples, you'll find couple swings and siblings as well. There's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? One person feels down, the other will raise them up. Then it's the other person's turn, and the other one will raise them up. And that's kind of a continual balancing that we have to go through in life, because we don't want to have fun all the time. It loses its value. But it
Well,
is.
that's it. It's exactly what you say. It's all about balance, isn't it? And because if we don't have the things that aren't so great, how can you, like you say, truly value the things that are?
Mm, yeah. And well, I've got a very funny sister, and I grew up being the serious one. So we were very contrary. But as I've grown older, I've taken to learn. I started by doing self-help, and I learned to actually try to be funny. And I found that didn't work. I couldn't emulate somebody else. I'm useless at telling jokes. But what happened was, as I became more confident and more self-aware and just enjoying my life more, I started to see the funny side of things. And I see
Mm.
humor in the most amazing things. I had I had fits of laughter in the car the other day, and everybody was thinking, was she ever going to stop laughing? Because it's one of those ones where you couldn't stop. And what happened was, in the dark, we were driving around Dartford, um, and there was a series of about 12 runners in the dark. They had they all seemed to have the same outfit on, the little trainers, the little bubble hats, and these visible lights that they strapped to themselves. So they all had these little coloured bulb lights on their backs, all running along the road in the dark. And I said, "Oh, look, it's Santa's elves." That tickled me. That tickled me so much I could not stop laughing, because the more I thought
Brilliant.
about it, the funnier it got. But nobody else saw the joke. But then they started laughing because I couldn't stop laughing. And
Well, it's contagious, isn't it? It
it
is
is.
contagious.
But it was just seeing the funny side of something. There were these runners very seriously huffing and puffing along the road. But in a flash of an eyeglass, I saw Santa elves running as if they're ready to
Brilliant.
take off.
Oh, love that.
But it's allowing that childishness, that
Yeah.
to come through, because children are quite resilient, and that they
Mm,
have a lot of joy. And we should also, I would suggest that we try and be around children, especially
mm.
this time of year when they're doing all their nativities and carols in
Yeah.
squares. Yeah,
And you could just watch them, and they'll come out with the most silliest, funniest little things. Like,
yeah.
and my youngest it just comes to him like that. He'll just sit there and he'll do something really silly. We've got this thing at the minute where we're doing egg jokes. So we're sat there and we're just sort of randomly going, "Oh, that's excellent," or "You crack me up, mum."
And it's educational too. But it is that lateral thinking, because as a teacher, I used to try to help students to relax before their exams. And one of the things that's really important is, while they're sitting in a room, perhaps waiting before their exams start, is to put some comedy on, because
Mm,
comedy is all about lateral connections, lateral thinking, um, connecting the unobvious with the obvious and having another connection. And it gets your mind working. Plus, it
mm,
makes you laugh. And when you laugh, you release serotonin. So,
yeah.
and we have dopamine coming along too. So it's a very much an anti-anxiety relaxation technique to have a good laugh. And of
Mm.
course, if you're going to do something stressful, if you just play some comedy on the phone these days, I was going to say on the TV, but on the phone,
Yeah.
it really is helpful to help you find answers to the problems that you've got.
Absolutely. And if you like comedians, you can head on down to the Orchard West Theatre, because they always have a great comedian coming up. Jimmy Carr has been an absolute sellout in January, but there are definitely some other brilliant comedians that I would recommend you heading on down to see.
Well,
While we're
Jimmy
on the
Carr's one
topic,
of them, isn't he? I was just going to say Jimmy Carr is one of those who appears quite serious and can be quite offensive, but
absolutely.
it's the way you look at things, and we can just change the way you look at things. And of course, Panto has lots of slapstick in it, and the
Mm,
corniest jokes.
yes, it's
And
behind
I
you.
was going to say the tradition is behind you. Well, let's
Yeah.
have a
And do you
look
know what?
then.
I've got to say, it was the most funniest thing. But I was sat with my team of colleagues when I was watching this year's panto at the Orchard West, and the bit where the ghost comes out, it happens in like every panto. The ghost comes out and they're running behind, and everyone's going, "It's behind you!" And this ghost was in a bed sheet, and it was so funny because, like, talking about realistic, but then making something real so funny is when they went, "What's behind me?" And my friend behind me went, "A bed sheet."
I
And
love
we
it.
one who within our bit just absolutely cracked up. And this
Yeah.
is it. beauty of it is a shared experience. Like laughter really is such a powerful medicine, I believe. And
Yeah,
it's a gift with what we have in ourselves that is totally free. And who loves free stuff? We all love free stuff, which
we
brings
do.
me back to remind you about the 4 free tickets that you can win at this. Do you know what? I was just thinking, I keep saying this, but I'm going to keep saying it because it's amazing, guys.
Yeah.
You need to know 4 free tickets to watch Sleeping Beauty at Orchard West. For your chance to win, you have to answer the following question. What did Sleeping Beauty prick her finger on that put her to sleep for 100 years? Now, if you know the answer, drop me an email over at info@gem, Gem, instone.co.uk. Make sure you put your email address or a contact number so I can ring you like you won. I'll let you know the winners on Christmas Day. But it's such a great opportunity. And guys, it's such a great panto. Get down there, go and have a laugh. Take your family, take your friends. It's going to be great fun.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it is if you are alone and then put the television on, put the radio on, take a walk,
Yes.
get outside, you'll bump into someone, have a chat. People are so friendly at Christmas. People are more likely to stop and talk to you especially if you live in a neighborhood where perhaps people don't because they're busy. But I love to go out and just walk and talk. You find somebody will even just a couple of sentences, it just makes you feel connected, makes you feel loved and validated and interested. You can be interested in them. You might learn something. And one of the best places is a charity shop because people linger and they're
Yes.
looking for something, and you can say, have you seen any gloves anywhere, or have you seen a robin ornament anywhere? You can actually start a conversation quite easily in a charity shop because everybody there is well motivated. And of
Mm,
course there's the local pub or the cafe, try to get out more and
mm.
just make some friendly connection. Obviously you're not going to be invited to dinner there and then,
Yeah.
but
Well, you never know.
well, be careful. But the point is, television will substitute. But if you are with family and you have the
Mm,
opportunity to be with family and friends, do go. If you don't feel like it, get up and go. Just make yourself go, even if it's, oh, well, I might not stay. You just sometimes the things you don't want to do actually turn out really a lot of fun, but it's
mm.
good for you. It's like medicine to have
Yeah,
fun or to be around people. Yeah. So you're busy,
absolutely.
Emma. But how let's come back to hope on prescription. What's happening next year then? What's 2025 going to bring for you?
It is going to bring an absolute treat. I'm absolutely over the moon. The community here is building and building every single day. We're currently waiting on Arts Council funding, so we're just waiting to see whether we can create this beautiful festival of hope within the community. We already have a handful and more of sponsors, which is fantastic. We just need that final push. And I was up to 1 o'clock in the morning last night, making sure that it was all ready to get in just before Christmas. And this is something to consider and to think about. If you have a dream and you have a passion and you have a hope, do the work, put the action in, because that's the only way you're going to make these things happen. Just like I did, I've been putting in the work, I've been putting in the action, which means next year we're going to have poetry and performance workshops traveling around schools, traveling around local communities, bringing everybody together to experience an event full of hope, inspiring positive outlooks on life. And it's just a real feel good feeling. We're going to be on the radio throughout the year, back at Valley Park, to all the patients and the staff there, which is really exciting because I really, really enjoy those sessions that we have. There's lots and lots of different things happening, and I'm really excited actually because Victoria is going to be helping me put my poetry book together, aren't you, Victoria?
Well, I hope so, yes, because I've heard some of your poetry and I know there's tons more. And I do believe that if you're watching this program and you've got a project that you've not worked on, make a
Mm,
plan to just do something once a week or once a fortnight, or
yeah.
at least do something once a month towards it, because
Mm,
our projects pick up momentum. And
Yes,
you
they
don't know
do.
who's going to come in to help. So you, Gemma, you didn't know you were going to meet me, and I was going to say, oh,
No.
let's put that together. Let's get that
Mm,
out as fast as we can for next year, and there's more. And
mhm.
one of the things I did last year or a couple of years ago was I've never mastered watercolor, and I wanted to do some paintings, but it wasn't conducive for me to use oils because I'm a portrait artist mainly and a book illustrator, etc. But oils and paints everywhere wasn't going to work. So I thought, what can I do? And I joined an online group class, and I did watercolor sessions. I did free 6 week session, or 6 sessions, should I say. And part of that was just doing drawings all the time. So I had a pad in my car. So every time I was waiting outside schools or in queues, or somewhere I was parked, I would actually think, what can I sketch here? Oh, look, there's a wheel. I'll draw a wheel. A
Nice. Yeah,
fire,
that's brilliant.
a tree, a bird, anything. And so
Mm,
it picked up momentum. And then the lady ran another course on watercolor, which I joined very only for like £47. And it was great. And I did a year's course with her, and I'm still involved. But at the end of it, I thought I really am an oil painter rather than a watercolor artist. But I had so much fun. There was a Facebook community. I learned skills. I looked at things. It got me going. The momentum built up. And
mm.
then the following year, I began painting again. And
Oh.
immediately, someone invited me into an exhibition. So when I
Oh.
started, I could have easily have said, oh, well, I can't get the paints out here. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do that. And stopped. But you have to
Yeah.
think, what can you do in whatever situation you're in? What can you do? And what will bring you joy? I was
Yeah.
so happy doing learning watercolor.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
So that's an
But
example.
like you got to take that leap and explore, isn't it? Like
Mm,
as a stop smoking specialist, I often speak to my clients when they're trying to stop smoking, and I say, do you know what? Like just move that focus into something new. And sometimes I get people that go, but what? What do I do? And for me, I get all excited because I'm like, well, wow, like you've got an opportunity now to explore so many different things. And once you're exploring and you're trying all these different things, you will then discover what you love. Now, although you did that course and you did all the watercolors and still came to the conclusion that you do prefer your oils, that process you've just explained, you had fun, you enjoyed it, you built new connections. Like, so it's just exploring, it's being adventurous. And it brings us back to being that child again, isn't it? And
mm.
being brave enough to go, let's experiment. Let's try this out. Let's see if you don't like it. So
Mm.
move on. And you
Yeah.
never know, you might have experienced that, and someone in a year's time will come along and say, I have no idea to do this. And you will know because you did that one random course.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So on that note, then I'd like to just say it's important to look ahead. I wish you a great 2025. And I'm really, really hoping that you'll join us with Hope on Prescription with all the activities, and that you'll come back to Gemma's show on Valley Park Radio and pop in, have a look, join her on Facebook. And it's just powerful to remember what Gemma's been saying about all these projects she's started, as a mum with children, and a lot of experience. And look how young she looks, and she's in the joy of Christmas with her hat on. We're having fun, and we want you to share that with us today as well. So please go forward to next year with a fantastic attitude.
So learning from experience is really, really important. But guys, start small. Like Victoria said, just pick something, even if it's one thing a day, one thing a week, one thing a month. Just start small and start working towards your goals. As we wrap up this year, we are offering you the final chance to win 4 tickets to Sleeping Beauty at the Orchard West Theatre. If you want to enter, you need to answer the following question. What did Sleeping Beauty prick her finger on that put her to sleep for 100 years? If you know the answer, drop me an email. All the information will be in the description. And guys, it's Christmas. Share this, share it to everyone. Let everyone have the opportunity to get involved in this competition, because you're going to make a family very happy when we announce the winner.
Yeah.
And as we come to the end, I've got to thank everybody who has been involved in Hope on Prescription so far this year, from Victoria to Dave to Beth to Raf to just absolutely everybody that's been supporting me. I am so, so grateful for you. And I have one more thing to share and announce, which I'm really excited about. Kent County Council are now officially sponsors of Hope on Prescription.
Hey, brilliant.
So we are
Brilliant.
going into the new year with a real
Oh,
strong
that is
community
great.
feel. I
Yeah,
can't wait.
that's fantastic.
But Merry Christmas, everyone. We
Merry
hope you have a
Christmas,
great
everyone.